In the shadowy realms of the unknown, where malevolence and horror intertwine, there existed a being unlike any other. A demon-like monster that wore the skin of its victims. Its name, if it ever had one, was now lost in the annals of time. The thing was ancient, cursed, and relentless. I first learned of this monstrosity from the ramblings of a madman. He was a former detective, driven to the brink of insanity by what he had witnessed. His eyes, once sharp and piercing, had dulled to an empty void. He told me his tale on a night when the moon was but a feeble crescent, and the air was thick with a sense of foreboding. The detective began his story with an air of hesitation, as though the very act of recounting his ordeal was an affront to his sanity. He spoke of a series of gruesome murders that had plagued our quiet town. Murders so gruesome that they defied explanation. In each case, the victims' skins had been flayed from their bodies and discarded, leaving behind a gruesome tableau of flesh and bone. As the detective delved deeper into the case, he discovered a pattern, a dark truth that defied all reason. The monster, it seemed, was not only a killer, but a parasite, feeding off the very essence of its prey. It would wear the skin of its victims, its form shifting into a grotesque imitation of humanity. The detective's voice trembled as he recounted the night he had come face to face with the demon. He had followed a trail of blood and despair to an abandoned factory on the outskirts of town. There, in the dim light of a flickering lantern, he saw it. The creature, draped in the stolen skin of its latest victim, the twisted mockery of a human form. The monster's eyes, cold and unfeeling, locked onto the detective's, and a grin that oozed malevolence spread across its stolen face. It lunged, finally pinpointing the grotesque being's location to a dimly lit warehouse, bathed in an eerie glow of moonlight. The detective and this butcherer of man stood locked in a nightmarish confrontation. The tension was impalpable, and the very air seemed to vibrate with malevolence. With a surge of desperation, the detective lunged at the monster, determined to end the reign of terror once and for all. His blade slashed through the air, but as it connected with the creature, something felt wrong, terribly wrong. The detective's hand passed through the monster, as if it were nothing but a shadow. His heart pounded, and his vision blurred. He took a step back, trying to comprehend what was happening. The monster's face contorted in a sly grin, revealing rows of sharp, glistening teeth. It was then that the detective realized the horrifying truth. This final showdown was not real. It was an illusion, a macabre dream woven by the monster's malevolent magic. The detective's surroundings twisted and warped, the warehouse walls melting into unrecognizable shapes. He stumbled, his feet betraying him as they sunk into the cold, viscous floor. Panic surged through him as he understood that he had walked right into the demon's trap. In the nightmare's grasp, the detective was paralyzed, unable to escape. He felt a searing pain across his chest, a pain so excruciating it threatened to rip his very soul from his body. His blood, like liquid fire, coursed down his torso. With his last ounce of strength, the detective managed to look down and saw the demon before him, still draped in the skin of its latest victim.